What can even be said about this energy? Someone's credit score is jumping overnight, but I'm getting is your rating, your approval rating. Like people are starting to like you all of a sudden, and you had to fight for a long time, but it wasn't fighting for people's approval. It was fighting to maintain your own sense of self and your own peace, especially your peace of mind. And someone was coming in to work with you, but they didn't want you to say anything about it. They wanted you to keep it a secret that God is above and God is below, and you bless him at all times. It's almost like your creator came to you in the darkest place and said, here's a little light. Keep it going, keep it moving, but don't tell anybody. And someone is given the impression that you don't know how to keep a secret. So at the same time, they knew that by telling you not to say anything, that you were going to explode. And that's exactly what happened. You exploded. And this is what they needed to happen because certain seeds cannot germinate unless they are burnt. And it feels like someone had to go through purgatory in order to reach this peace. Everyone who was instigating you to try to make you snap out, they did it on purpose because they wanted you to go back into isolation. And it's like, we just need a little bit of light over here. Just shine it over here. Okay, all right, that's enough. Like they're really trying to control you. And they realize that you basically work for them. This feels like angels in this energy, but that doesn't make it right. I mean, is it right if someone's being controlled and abused by angels? Because it's almost like they're calling you the devil and they're using you like a workhorse, is the vibe that I'm getting. If this is something you're resonating with, definitely stick around because we're about to get into it. And keep in mind that all of my messages are general. If you like to book a personal reading, you can do so by sending your question and payment through PayPal. My prices are in my bio, and I'll get back to you within the same day. Thank you so much for your business. I look forward to working with you. Now, let's get into this message. The message is that your credit score is about to jump overnight. Someone's saying you're breaking my heart. Don't ruin the surprise. I'll bless the Lord at all times. Okay, so this energy is very interesting. And it feels it's coded because you've been seen as someone who cannot keep a secret. So it's almost giving the energy like if they want people to know about it, then they're going to tell you it's a secret. Okay, so let's get into this vibe. It feels like there's someone you're working with who supports you, but they know how you are. And so they don't want you to ruin what they've actually got going on. It also feels like this is picking up on someone's inability to show up on time. Like it's saying, it feels like they're telling you a different time than things are really about to happen so that you will show up on the time that they need you to be there, even if it's days later. But something about your credit score jumping, and also this could be a score of the way people see you. I'm seeing almost like your approval rating is jumping overnight. Someone's saying you're breaking my heart because I feel like you've been forced into a situation where you can no longer wear a mask. It's giving the energy like it's hot, you can't breathe, and dramatic, but you just refuse to be fake because you literally cannot manage a fake personality. So let's get into this energy. What's going on? Yeah, people were calling you crazy back in the day, but now it's like, it's a beautiful thing. And also, I feel like if you crazy is because they didn't know any other way to talk to you. It's like they felt like they had to insult you just because that was the times. Because they're saying you're hurting them. You're hurting their feelings. You're breaking their heart. This is someone you're working with. They're working with you from behind the scenes. They're saying don't ruin the surprise. Something about you blessing the Lord at all times. And even as I do this reading, it's like, well, am I ruining the surprise? Am I ruining the surprise? Because this is a message here. The vibe is they want the surprise ruined at the end of the day, almost. It just feels like it's very cheeky and there's a lot of banter here. Almost like when you're watching a show and all of a sudden it starts to get campy, like they've got you on board. You've already watched 3 seasons. You're going to watch every season they ever unveil, or what is it called? Like post. I know it's not posting, but basically every season they post, you're gonna watch. And it's just like, I don't know about that. Like, I'm still in control of my own thoughts and feelings. Like, it's almost like they're just kind of pulling you along for the ride without even having any real concrete information. But you're still a critical thinker. Like the Three Stooges, I don't know if you read that, but it's difficult for me to get through it because the crowd speaks is a character, and they're just running around from one page to the other end of the page, and it just feels like, yeah, it's a page turner because you ran from this page to this page, but not because there's anything. Well, I haven't read more than a few pages, so I'm not going to comment, but it's almost like that. Maybe like Twilight was also very difficult for me to read. You could be a book reader, an avid reader. What it feels like is God is in heaven and hell. And some people don't want to know this, but this is tarot. So as above, so below is the vibe. And you bless God above and you bless God below. And somebody doesn't want this to get out. Just how positive you are. This is giving the vibe of someone who, I'm seeing someone being almost like a psychopath. Like, you could be nice and then people keep picking on you and trying to break you down, break your spirit. And then you can react and respond without losing your positivity. Like, you look at what you made me do. Now let's get back to what I was doing before you interrupted me. Okay. What else is going on with this energy? Your credit score. People suddenly liking you overnight, but they didn't like you back in the day. They called you immature. They said you were spiteful and vindictive. They said you were mean. But now that they feel protected, basically it feels like now they've got some business to mind. They're not up your behind. I just feel like this needs to be toned down. This energy. Maybe that's how you feel. People are constantly trying to tone you down. But suddenly, now that they are comfortable within themselves and they don't feel attacked, they're entertained by. And now they see that you actually might have some issues that you're dealing with. You actually might be killing demons in the background, and they're looking at you like you're punching the air or fighting the air, and they think it's funny. So, but you just keep on doing you because you're working on yourself regardless of whether you're getting attention for it or not. In the past, you might have been getting a negative attention, and now it feels like you're getting positive attention. I'm just so curious how this is straight, but this is diagonal. That's very interesting. So you're working towards building your positive world, a positive world for yourself. It almost feels like, yeah, like these are the audience. This is the audience kind of speaking during the play. Like, they're watching you, but they're also interacting with you. And they're making you a star. They're turning you into a star, or at the very least, watching you turn yourself into a star. They're watching you work is what I'm getting. Now, someone's saying, don't ruin the surprise. There's something very important about what you say when it comes to your work and how much you reveal. But it's almost like, don't think about a polar bear, or what's the word, like a pink polar bear or something, because as soon as you say it, that's exactly what you're going to think. So it feels like they're saying don't do something because they precisely want you to do it. Like, don't come any closer. But the whole while they're trying to attract you and bring you into their space, but distract you at the same time. So this is the Knight of Cups bringing some kind of a love offer. And it feels like it was a offer that has been continuously offered to you since you were a young child. And whether this is something you accept or not, it feels like it's going to keep coming. The Lord being blessed at all times is very important in this energy. And it does feel like this love offer is specifically coming from God. This is your energy. If you're resonating, book a reading with me. Now let's get closer. So the page of swords is clarifying the King of Cups. And something is happening here to this King of Cups. It feels like someone they feel confident in themselves that you are not going to attack them, but it also feels like there's something kinky happening, like they want a fight. There's someone working in the background to soften you. Yeah, because this is giving the energy of someone who's almost like a monkey in a cage, like they're being watched. Everything they do is amusing and entertaining. And I know it kind of feels like the fourth wall is being broken, but I can assure you, I do not feel like a monkey at this time. So if this is your energy, it feels like they want you to feel like you're under pressure or under duress, but it's a joke. The joke is that you can't see through the glass. They might be watching you, but you're definitely not watching them. With this star energy, like it definitely goes one way. You're doing your job, you're loving life, and you're completely immersed in this scene. Now there's something about Kiss Me Through the Phone. This song has been in my head for basically all day of these readings hours now. And I think it has to do with that 6-7 that the kids are talking about. And I've just been like, what the heck does that mean? And maybe you're just going to have to figure out the hard way in order to get on the bandwagon, whatever this is. Is it about balance? Is it about remembering a number? In my day, 6-7 sounds more like star 6-7. But I don't have kids and I don't have friends who are kids, so I'm never going to know. And I can only figure out by trying to understand, just like an archaeologist digging up bones, like, is this a dinosaur or a giant elephant? So what I came to, the conclusion is that this is about your other pair of lips and they want you to kiss them. They want you to toot through the screen. Maybe this is what you're not supposed to say. Maybe this is ruining the surprise. But this is basically a generation of, oh yeah, and it's kids. So it's not definitely not something you want them talking about, because I'm an adult. So, but as a kid, because that song came out when I was younger, so it feels like it's someone trying to break the fourth wall and they want to have a relationship with you, but they're doing it in a really sneaky way. Uh, if everybody's the same age, then it's fun. But when the people are older, then it's perverted. And no means no. So they're just going to get their lips torn off, I guess. I don't know what the case is with this energy. But the vibe is like, we're all adults here, but Gen X is not Gen Z. So even though Gen Z are adults, millennials are adults, and people grow up, you don't suddenly become attractive. You're still seen as old. The sun is coming out. It almost feels like it's a new day. Yeah, like this could be what is making you attractive, because you're fighting for the same team. But that almost sounds like, oh my God, this energy is so immature. It's like, what's the word now? It's not no homo. It's not no homo. Wow, and all day I've been forgetting words. Like, age is coming up a lot here. And specifically going senile. What is it they say with the boys? No diddy or something else. Is there anything else that's like, it feels very gay. Someone is breaking your heart, or they're saying that you're breaking their heart. Someone wants to be your friend that you're not interested in, and they're saying you're breaking their heart because you're at peace with yourself. Yeah, they constantly break the wall because they're lonely and they're not happy in their own situation. And it's really, really sad, because it doesn't matter how thick the walls are, they're going to act like they're not there. But the vibe is, this person wants to reach through the screen and grab you, because he said, kiss me through the screen. He's like, toot your lips through the screen, and he's being sexual about it. But you're not supposed to say anything. It's just supposed to be 6-7, 6-7. Like, it's a code, right? But the vibe is still the vibe, because we're all humans. Eventually you're going to grow up. But I'm not talking to kids. I don't know if there's some immaturity here. Like someone's trying to contact you on a sneaky level, but you're of the light. So everything you say comes to the light. And this is why people are constantly trying to shut you down because they want to keep it a secret. But if everybody knows the secret is not a secret, you're just being weird. You're just being creepy. No still means no. No means I'm not interested. I'm not gonna go home and think about it. I'm not gonna change my mind behind closed doors. It isn't appealing to me. Okay. So someone's saying don't ruin the surprise. Someone's trying to get you to enter into some kind of a sex work contract where you just have to let it happen is the vibe. And that's also a bad idea because someone's trying someone is trying to get you to put that aside for now, put your happiness aside, then that's a big red flag because it's almost like saying put your life aside and give your life to the mission or the cause. And it's not even your cause, it's not something that you believe in. It's specifically something that you go against. So no, you will not just let it happen. You are in full control, and if it has to be a war, then it will. Because you're standing with God, and look at that, you're the last one standing at the end of the day. Being righteous is so valuable, and this is why the devil doesn't want you to know. This is why your innocence is so valuable. Before I even started this reading, I heard that someone was losing their innocence, but that's what they wanted. They wanted you to, all right, I'm at, how old am I now? I can't keep going on. I have to submit to the powers that be. But the powers that be are dying. They're getting old and they're dying. They don't own the world. You have to stick with God. God lives on forever. And yeah, it starts off as kids, then they grow up, and then they eventually branch off into doing something else. But when you stick with God the whole time, you never die. You have eternal life. And dying of the self, dying of the spirit, whatever the case is, you bless God at all times, above and below. Like, yeah, they try to beat you down and they try to take something from you, your attention, your time, your friendship, whatever. But no is always going to be no. Even if you have come back and fight. Yeah, fighting is still an option. We haven't even done that yet. What else is in this energy? You got the Sun card coming out. Someone is going back into now, this is what happens when things start getting out of control. Basically, your star, your light gets so bright that you're just ready to burn down the whole town all at once. And so the light seems to have gone out, but it just gets smaller and smaller because somebody blew up. Somebody snapped out. They're in judgment. This energy is, it feels like this is what they were antagonizing the whole time. They were instigating the fight because they want you to explode. They want to get rid of some homes. They want to make space for new projects. It's coming off like it's a natural thing. It's a natural part of the environment. You know, fire is part of the weather. And some plants cannot germinate unless they are burnt down. Some seeds that are planted will not take root unless everything else is burnt down. I'm hearing you're the man to do it. I don't know who I'm talking to, and I don't know how this is resonating, but I don't support arson or anything like that. You could be a firefighter in this energy. I'm just not saying much, but I feel like you got to tiptoe around whatever this is because they don't want you to ruin the surprise. If this is your energy, I'm almost nervous to say let me know because it feels so dangerous. But I definitely do look forward to your comments. Thank you so much to everyone who stuck around. I love you guys.